He killed at least 5 people. He taunted the police. He sent coded letters to newspapers. And he was never caught. This is the story of the Zodiac Killer, the most terrifying unsolved case in American history. It was the late 1960s in Northern California. Cities were growing. Life seemed normal. But something dark was lurking in the shadows. A killer was about to begin a murder spree that would terrorize an entire nation and leave investigators completely powerless. First attack, December 20, 1968. A quiet lake outside Vallejo, California. 2 teenagers, David Faraday and Betty Lou Jensen, parked their car on a remote road. They never made it home. They were found shot dead the next morning. Police had no leads. No witnesses. No motive. Just 2 young lives, stolen in the darkness. Second attack, 7 months later, July 4, 1969. The same area. Darlene Ferrin and Michael Mageau were sitting in a parked car when a man approached and opened fire. Mageau survived, barely. Darlene did not. Within minutes of the attack, the killer called the police himself. He gave the exact location of the bodies. And then he said something chilling. "I also killed those kids last year." The letters begin. 1 month later, 3 letters arrived simultaneously, at 3 different newspapers. The San Francisco Chronicle, the San Francisco Examiner, and the Vallejo Times Herald. Each letter contained details only the killer could know. And each letter contained 1/3 of a 408-symbol cipher. The killer demanded the newspapers print the cipher on their front pages, or he would go on a killing spree. The cipher was eventually cracked by a schoolteacher and his wife. The decoded message read, "I like killing people because it is so much fun. It is more fun than killing wild game in the forest." The letter ended with 18 symbols that were never decoded, to this day. The name. In another letter, the killer revealed his name for the first time. He called himself the Zodiac. He wrote it with a crossed circle symbol that became his signature. The name sent shockwaves across California. Newspapers ran the story on their front pages. People were terrified to go out at night. Lake Berryessa, September 27, 1969. Lake Berryessa. Brian Hartnell and Cecilia Shepard were picnicking by the water when a hooded man approached them. He tied them up. And then he stabbed them repeatedly. Cecilia died 2 days later. Brian survived. The killer then walked to Brian's car and wrote the dates of all his attacks on the door, in pen, like a trophy. The cab driver, October 11, 1969. San Francisco. Cab driver Paul Stein was shot in the head. Witnesses saw a man leave the scene and walk calmly into the night. Police were actually directed away from the killer by a dispatcher error. He escaped. Right through their fingers. This was his last confirmed killing. The investigation. Detectives worked around the clock. The FBI got involved. Hundreds of suspects were investigated. One man, Arthur Lee Allen, was the prime suspect for decades. His car, his watch, his personality, everything pointed to him. But DNA evidence was inconclusive. He died in 1992, never charged. Never convicted. The letters continue. Even as killings stopped, the letters didn't. The Zodiac continued writing to newspapers for years. He claimed to have killed 37 people. He made threats. He sent pieces of victims' clothing as proof. He even wrote a letter threatening to shoot children on a school bus. The city of San Francisco lived in constant fear. Decades passed. Technology advanced. DNA testing, handwriting analysis, digital forensics. Yet the Zodiac was never identified. In 2021, a private group called the Case Breakers claimed to have identified the killer as a man named Gary Francis Post, who died in 2018. But the FBI never officially confirmed it. The case remains open to this day. The Zodiac Killer terrorized a nation, outsmarted law enforcement, and vanished into history. Whoever he was, he took his secret to the grave. 5 confirmed victims, possibly dozens more, and 0 answers. Some cases are never meant to be solved. And that is what makes this one the most terrifying of all. If this story kept you up at night, you're not alone. Subscribe to Dark Files Daily for more true crime cases that will leave you speechless. Turn on notifications, because the next case drops very soon. And trust me, you don't want to miss it.